Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today I'm discussing the Xbox Series X. Now, first of all, let's just dive right in and discuss the name, because the name I feel is pretty terrible. It's like those kids on the original Xbox days and the names where it's like XX blank XX. It's what it sounds like. Xbox Series X. It's just the XX and then name and then X. It's like, why did you name it that weird of a thing? And not only is it a weird name, but it's very confusing. A lot of people I was hearing from when they were reacting to the reveal discussed how it sounds more of an expansion product instead of a brand new generation. It sounds like the Wii U. The Wii and the Wii U. Now, when the Wii U came out, a lot of people thought, oh, the Wii U. It looks like it's just the gamepad, and it's just going to be part of the Wii. Confused the hell out of a lot of people. Very bad marketing. This one, the marketing is making sure that you know it's a brand new product, but at the same time, it's still going to confuse a lot of parents, a lot of grandparents. They're going to think, oh, they already have an Xbox One. The Xbox Series X is just the same generation but more powerful. And the reason they'll think that is because the Xbox One X. It's way too similar of a name. Why did you do this? I think they needed a new name completely. They needed to get rid of the other X in there, and I don't know why they called it Series. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like if Xbox had gone the PlayStation route, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, very simple. Instead of Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One. What is that naming convention? What is going on there? So strange. I mean, the Xbox One, Xbox original. You can't say, oh, the Xbox One. I mean, the Xbox original. They were already confusing names this generation, and now they're with the Series X. I don't quite know who is in the naming department, but they need to figure it out. The second thing is, I think that's actually cool that they're going to have the 4 generations of Xbox able to be played on this one. Now, I am worried though, because they are being a little bit vague. They haven't really specified whether or not it's just the games that have been able to run on the Xbox One, like the very specific amount of 360 games and a very specific amount of original Xbox games, or if you are really going to be able to play every single Xbox original, every single Xbox 360, and Xbox One game on the Series X. Because if you can, that is huge to me. I have a lot of Xbox original games I've been wanting to play, but I haven't wanted to set up my Xbox original. And they're not compatible on this Xbox. So if all of a sudden all of my 360 games, all of my original Xbox games are now available to be played on the Series X, I am ecstatic. That sounds awesome. I can't wait. However, I will not be buying this system day one. I've thought about it, and it just doesn't make sense. Xbox or Microsoft has really shot themselves in the foot with the decision to put every single Microsoft exclusive game from the, that's going to be on the Xbox One also on PC. And that's a great thing for me because I have a gaming PC, but it makes their system pointless. There's no reason to turn on the Xbox One for me because any game that I want to play that is only on the Xbox is also on PC. And if I want to play another game, I'll play it on the PlayStation 4 because it's just the better system. It's a slightly more powerful system, and there's just no reason to turn that system on. If you have a PlayStation 5 next year and a gaming PC, you'll be able to play everything besides, of course, Nintendo games. But you'll be able to play everything else, and you won't miss out on anything. There's no reason to get the Series X. There's going to be no exclusives that are only for the Xbox Series X. And that leads me to another thing, is a lot of people are saying that the Xbox Series X is, quote, basically a PC. And you know what? It doesn't make sense, the second tagline, and that's why you'll want one. No, that is not why you'll want one, because it's not a PC. A console can only play games. Consoles have lost pretty much everything that made a console easier for people that only wanted to deal with a console. I've had so many people tell me, Fanta, I don't want to get a gaming PC because I don't want to have to worry about installing games. I don't want to have to worry about how complicated it's going to be, all the updates. Literally, the Xbox One, every single time I turn it on, there's an update for either a game or the system. I can't just go on and play the game. That was so many people's point as to why they did not get a PC back then. I just want to play games. I just want to be able to play them. I don't want any complication. I don't want any delay. I want to put the game in. I want it to work. That does not exist anymore on systems. So when people tell me that, I get very confused because that has not been the case for a long time now. It is essentially a gaming PC that is limited by itself. You are limited by the games you can play. You are limited in power and upgrades. You're limited in what you can do with it. With a PC, you can use it for work. You can use it for, you can use YouTube and Netflix and all that stuff on a Xbox, but it's just an easier experience using it on the PC. You can use a controller on the PC with Bluetooth. There's literally no reason at this point to not just get a gaming PC instead of the Series X. That's my belief, at least. Unless you want a system that plays backwards compatible, you want to play your Xbox One games in a, let's just say you only have the Xbox, and you want to play them at a higher frame rate and less loading times, and the games just run better. Then there you go. The Xbox Series X will be able to play all of your Microsoft Xbox library. And that, like I said, is really cool. But that's about where all of the awesome things about the Series X ends. If you can buy the new Halo game that is coming out on the Series X on the PC, what's the point? I would love for people to tell me, because I'd love to know, what is the point of the Series X? What is Microsoft thinking when there's no reason to get this system? Unless it is more powerful than the PS5. But PlayStation has something that Microsoft doesn't, and that is real exclusives. There are games you can only get on PlayStation. You can't get them on the PC, you can't get them on the Xbox, you can't get them on the Switch. They're only on the PlayStation, and that is something that Microsoft no longer has. If you want to play Gears of War, you want to play Halo, it's on the PC. There's no reason to own an Xbox anymore. Even if you like using the controller, like I said, you can use that on a PC. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next generation. And there's something that keeps coming to mind when I look at this and how it looks exactly like a computer. Is this the last Xbox console? Is this the last generation for consoles in general? Now, that second question, I don't believe it is the last generation for consoles. Even though Nintendo has talked about how they might stop making systems, I don't think that makes any sense. The Switch is an amazing seller. They're selling lots of games for it. They're doing incredibly well. There's no reason for Nintendo to stop doing what they're doing. Same with PlayStation. PlayStation keeps breaking their own records. If you look at top consoles sold of all time, Sony has stacked it. It's just all PlayStation and a couple Nintendo sprinkled throughout. It's amazing how well Sony has done in making and marketing their systems. So because of that, I feel like they'll stick around as well. But Microsoft, if they're going to continue to put games on the PC, I don't know. It'll really depend on how well this system sells. They're already doing a much better job of marketing the Xbox One than the Xbox One, because the Xbox One was dead on arrival. They lost the console war as soon as they said, you cannot play used games on this. There's DRM on a console, and that killed it. There was literally no point anymore to the Xbox One existing, because you're like, oh, well then I'll just play on PC, where I already have to deal with that issue. I'll just buy a PlayStation, where I know I can trade games with friends, and I can trade in stuff, and I can buy used games. When a company is just clearly taking advantage of you, people are going to get pissed. People are going to take notice, and it's going to be incredibly obvious. And Microsoft was incredibly obvious with the Xbox One. You could tell that they were money grubbing. All that being said, this console does seem to be pretty powerful. There's a few things that are a little bit iffy, because it sounds like you could build a PC with the same specs at about the same price. Well, actually, we don't even know the price yet. That's another issue. Another issue is we don't know the price yet. I feel like it was kind of strange that they showed off the Xbox Series X at the Game Awards show. I don't know why they didn't wait till E3 just to kind of reveal everything at once. It's not like we didn't know this console was coming, but I feel like it's just kind of a strange place to show it off. I guess Maybe it gives them more attention because PlayStation's not showing off their new flagship console at the same time. But I don't know, just a weird way to market it, especially without a price. So people are kind of left, well, okay, this is what it looks like. This is the power. And let's get in that power real quick. 8-core processor, targeting around 3.5 gigahertz. That's like standard. Xbox Series X GPU and custom processor. What does that mean? That doesn't tell us anything. And then with the whole 12 teraflops of power, okay. Whatever. Where did all those flops go with the Xbox One X? It flopped. 13 gigabyte of RAM for games, 3 gigabyte for the operating system. So 16 total. That's like baseline for most gaming PCs to have 16 gigs of RAM. So again, it's not a crazy amount, but it also makes sense because it's not like we're going to be running Photoshop or anything on here. We're not going to open up a bunch of stuff at the same time. But that being said, you can actually you can suspend games and then just immediately you can swap between a bunch of different games at once. I don't know how many games so far. They haven't specified that, but that's really interesting. I don't really know the purpose of that. I feel like that's just going to kill the power. I feel like it's probably a good idea to just shut down games individually. Maybe they have some sort of way in their operating system that they can make the game suspended, not take up a whole bunch of processing power, but I don't know. I feel like this reveal has left me with a lot of questions more than answers. And another issue that I'm really worried about with the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 is the storage capability in these things. What is it going to come with? Because I don't know about you, but my Xbox One and PS4 ran out of storage like that. Games are like 100 gigabytes, and you're only getting a terabyte with these things. That's like 10 games. Less than that with updates. Less than that with DLC. So when you start thinking about that, are you going to have to include the cost of a portable hard drive in with the cost of the console when you're buying it? Because that's what it was this generation. It's like, oh yeah, the Xbox One was, I guess, 500 when it came out because it had the Kinect. Well, let's just say 400. And the PlayStation 4 was 400, but only had 500 gigs in it. I guess so did the Xbox One. Man, they started with 500 gigs with these things. Now that they're kind of standard 1 terabyte, I'm thinking back now like, oh my god, how did we even get any games on there? As the generation has progressed, games have gotten bigger and bigger because I feel like they're becoming less optimized and kind of lazy. However, even if that's not the case, or even if that is the case, we are the ones that have to worry about storage solutions. And I feel like the next systems are going to launch with only a terabyte, and we're going to have to fork over the extra $50 or so to have a portable hard drive to store the rest of the game, which is a shame because the solid state hard drive, which is what it's confirmed to have already, is going to run a lot faster than a portable. Games are going to load a lot faster, they're going to run a lot better, so I'm hoping it's at least 2 terabytes, but I feel like it's only going to be 1 terabyte. Hopefully they make it easy to swap out that hard drive for a bigger one, but we'll just have to see. So overall, interesting design. It looks like a computer. I don't hate it by any means. It doesn't look terrible. It's just a box. I mean, it's finally just an Xbox. It's just a box. And it's going to be powerful. It has backwards compatibility, but the extent of that backwards compatibility is incredibly important to me. I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this, and I'll let you guys know if any new information comes out. Leave a like if you like the video, subscribe for more content, and as always, have a fantastic day. Today, I completely forgot I had a drink, but drinking Bruichladdich, the classic latte. That was a terrible whatever. Terrible accent, but it's delicious whiskey. Really good scotch. It is an Islay scotch, but it's not peated, so it's not smoky tasting. It's really fruity. It's delicious. I like it a lot. It's good stuff.